conclusion that was hijacked, and the whole subject has nothing to do with the governing of our city. Mayor Garola has done an excellent job of trying to keep this council moving forward, and this city needs a council who has the best interest of all of its citizens at heart. I was talking to a longtime Porterville resident, and he shocked me with a statement. He said that Porterville used to be a leader among the small towns of the valley, and now we're not. I was shocked because it's true. Tulare and Hanford are serving their citizens much better. Let me give you two instances on a subject that's dear to my heart. As someone who's been trying for the last 5 years to get a shelter built inside the city limits, I see that Tulare has built a wonderful new shelter that's doing an excellent job for its citizens, and the Hanford shelter has one of the lowest kill rates in the valley, about 30%. Our shelter is located more than 20 miles away, and its kill rate is more than double Hanford's. Tulare and Hanford also attract more companies, more upscale restaurants, and just has a better quality of life. Dinuba is also doing extremely well since they got Reese Foods, a company that wanted to locate in Porterville. So when I see how much time and energy has been spent on this issue and continues to be spent on it, and the time that is not being used to solve the many problems of Porterville, it just makes me sad. Thank you, Councilman Ward, Mayor McCracken, Mayor Garola, and Pam Hamilton for your attention. Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening. My name is Teresa de la Rosa. I live at 450 West Alice, Porterville. I seldom address you, but this issue has really disturbed me. It really worries me. This is the third time. I don't know if you know, Councilman Ward. This is the third time that this issue comes up in the last, I will say, 50 years or 12. Unfortunately, it involves the same issue and the same person. I'm so worried about it that it's beginning to sound like, or to look like it's a suspect issue, it's a suspect action, and that bothers me very much. And like she said, what does it bother you so much about Regina Garola? That she's a woman, that she's Latina, and that she's strong? Well, I just want to say one thing. Get used to it, because women are coming stronger, being a lot more aggressive in the way they conduct business. Don't be intimidated. Now, the other thing that I'm concerned about is this issue was brought up at the last Charter Review Committee. I was a member of that committee. And I remember distinctively that the issue came up and they said, oh no, let's do things the way we always done it. Tradition. Every mayor is to serve 2 years. And then what happens? Virginia becomes vice mayor, and then they wanted to change the rules midstream. Like I said, it's really beginning to sound and look like a suspect issue. And you know what that means. Now, when you have an issue of this magnitude, it's so important to at least 3 of you, why don't you give this issue to the Charter Review Committee? They're in a perfect situation to consider the issue. All of you appointed very important people, very smart people, and you just mentioned it. I'm sure they can take care of this issue. Not only that, they might even go further. Consider district elections, consider a strong mayor structure. Get it over with. It's an issue that can be resolved, but resolved the right way, legislatively, and you will be surprised how happy the city of Porterville will be once they know that that issue is not in your hands anymore, that there's no bias, and that there's no suspect classification. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next.
Liz McMurray, my address is on record, Porterville. Mayor, on August 6th, myself and other residents of Porterville community organized an interfaith vigil in response to the City Council's decision to rescind the June Pride Month proclamation. The idea behind the vigil was to rally support among ourselves. It was to give those of us who experienced shock, pain, and distress from public commentary and public rejection a starting point in mending our hearts. It was to send a message of community unity and support to one another. It was to help bring about a sense of acceptance and love within our own powers. The rally brought out faith leaders of approximately 10 different religious affiliations and backgrounds, as well as many other strong community leaders speaking on their acceptance and unconditional love and support of the LGBT community, many of which were straight allies. There were over 150 attendants at the vigil and over a dozen speakers, all but one were Porterville residents. The crowd was full of positive and hopeful energy, and with that, the residents of Porterville have created a gift for you, Mayor Garola, and we brought that with us tonight. Unfortunately, with the rules of the chambers, we are unable to bring in the art piece with us, so at the next recess, we would like to invite you to accept that if you so choose. We appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for your courage. Thank you for being the strong and fearless leader that you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Rodney Martin. My address is on record. I hope the arguments don't devolve into a motion of charge over simplification. This issue before you on your agenda, the simple reorganization of the council, is not an LGBT issue. It's not a matter of a strong Latina being the mayor, which the mayor is. It's a simple matter of following the charter, which I heard clarion calls back when we were having heated discussion about the proclamation. Said that it was, you follow the charter, you follow the city rules, and that was the call. That's what's before you tonight, is the council is calling for a reorganization. Quite frankly, I'm skeptical if replacing the mayor is going to solve the systemic problems that afflict Porterville. I think the mayor should be elected by the population of Porterville, of registered voters. I think that'll solve the problem, that the voters pick who sits in the center chair and speaks for all Portervillians. I did not see that on the scope of the Charter Review Committee. Maybe you all should consider that. But we're going to speak about fairness, and for everybody dogpiles on Councilman Ward, he's sat in that chair there or there, wherever he's been, for going on 5-6 years, and he's never rotated into that center seat. And one can make the case it's because of his religious views, and that, everyone, is shameful. It is just absolutely shameful. All of the arguments that are being made against Mayor Garola being, which I consider overly charged, emotionally charged, and being removed here tonight, could be made on the basis of Mr. Ward being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I've seen all of the nasty blog comments, and they're despicable. So we're going to get into this type of argumentation. Let's remember all the names that have been called Mr. Ward, and also talk about the nasty comments been made about Mr. Shelton and others. Vice Member Kraken has been mayor a few times. Mr. Hamilton's been mayor. And yet there's two gentlemen here that have been on the council a few years that have been probably precluded from the center seat. As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman that was appointed mayor that wasn't even elected to the council. That appointed position in the center seat. So before we start getting into this dogpiling, let's remember this is a simple process governed by the persons that sit up here. It has nothing to do with any other issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Felipe Martinez, former city councilman, former mayor pro tem, and former whatever you want to call me. 215 North F Street. I just come before and I've communicated with council members privately regarding this issue. I'm one of the few fortunate folks that was blessed to be elected onto city council. City of Porterville has been around for many, many years. Sitting in those 5 seats back there, there comes a heavy burden with it. In the last election, folks that were running for offices, they would be able to work together. They would be able to see beyond certain things, and everybody that was running at that particular time says, yes, I can go beyond that. Yes, I can go beyond that, or I can be forgiving. The decision really is yours, bottom line, all 5 of you. Whatever decision you come up with tonight, we, the citizens of Porterville, will live with. We may not like it, we may hate you, we may applaud you, for whatever the reason may be. Someone asked me if I had a particular dog in the fight, for not wanting to do something. I said, yes, I do. The city of Porterville. And I think the history of my being involved in the different community events that we do proves that. So I ask you, before you move forward, is to seriously think on your next move, and hopefully we can remain the same for the next 10 months, and in next year's election, we'll go from there. And the Charter Review can look. They don't need direction from you folks to look for a strong mayor. They don't need direction from you folks to look at going to districts. What they need direction is from their heart and what they feel from the city of Porterville really wants. So from my point, I'm very happy with the way things are on the council at the dais right now. And I'm a very involved citizen. I do give a, and I do get involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to step forward?
Anne Marie Wagstaff, 382 North Indiana Street. In the last week, I've had a lot of questions from people both inside and outside the city about what's going on here, and it made me think and want to read what I wrote to some of my friends who were asking. Whether or not Virginia Garola is removed tonight as Porterville's mayor, tonight is one more step in what must be a prolonged effort to change the political and ethical leadership of Porterville. It's true that Mayor Garola is the only one on the council who supported the Pride Proclamation, but she differs from those who are trying to remove her from office in other ways as well. She knows how to facilitate a meeting. She actually listens to people, whether or not they agree with her, and she shows them respect. She comes to meetings informed and prepared. She doesn't waste time. She acknowledges and represents the diversity of our city. She is a dedicated public servant who has shown it for a very long time. She has integrity and the vision which the others lack. She's being, she's possibly being removed because she represents a different future for Porterville. The LGBTQ issue is once again the line drawn in the sand by both sides. And Mayor Garola is right to stand with us, and we are right to stand with her. But until we change the membership of the City Council, not a lot will change. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council?
Andy Medina, 569 North Verdugo Street. Mayor and council members, I kind of get upset when people start knocking other people, and whether it be sexual or your political views, I think you're all doing a damn good job. You know, every one of you. I may not agree with certain people, with certain views, but you're doing the best you can. And when this issue comes up, I'll vote. When it comes time to vote, I'll put my vote the way I want. Well, you guys got to make a decision now. And you got to vote the way you want. Not listen to intimidation, not listen to people that don't agree with you, and now it makes you a bad person. No, it doesn't. So I just hope you guys vote for your heart and not just listen to a bunch of people that are upset one way or the other. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Vanessa Mesa. I live at 689 North J Street. I'm resident of Porterville for 23 years. I moved to Porterville 23 years ago, and I've been waiting for all the promises of change to come to Porterville. I am disheartened to see through all of this process of the proclamation not going through and the change not allowing to be made. And I look at all of you being white male, I'm sorry, I'm not prejudiced, but being white male and being the good old boys as what everybody knows you guys to be. I honestly think that you need to take into your hearts and think about the people of Porterville and how the majority of us feel. Allow the change to happen. Allow it to come about. And as I'm sitting here listening to all of the stuff going with Comisión and with the seniors, it should be the city's responsibility to find a place to put those seniors. Those are the kinds of changes that we want to see. Sitting here wasting the time that's being wasted on, do we get rid of the mayor, do we keep her, do we let this proclamation be, or do we let it go? Let the changes happen. They're supposed to happen for a reason. And all of you in the positions that you are, I don't hear a single one of you really listening to the people, but the mayor, Gorola, who is listening to the people and wants to bring the changes about. All of the rest of you are not listening to the people. You're more worried about your reputations and how people are going to look at you from here on out. And I heard that a couple of you up here have already been mayor previously. Why are you still in the council seat? Let some younger people come in that do support these things, that do support these issues, and let the changes come to Porterville that are extremely needed here in this town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Edith Levon. Address on record. Graduate of Leadership Porterville, 2003. When I went through that program, I learned the way our city was supposed to be run. I learned that those people who represent us up there are supposed to be impartial. They're supposed to study what they're going to do, and they're supposed to vote what they think is best for the city. Last few years, I'm watching people vote what's the best for them. Virginia came on board and was made mayor, and I started seeing an integrity that I appreciated. It's not my job to judge you or anyone here. Only one entity has the right to make judgment. Mayor Gorola has been impartial. She's been inquisitive. She asks why we want what we want. She studies. Her questions are intelligent. I don't feel the girl, she's out there for herself. I feel she's honestly out there for me as a citizen in the community. I understand her when she speaks. I wish some of you would speak a little bit closer to the microphone because mumbling is hard to understand. I want to understand what you're saying. I want to understand what you're doing. But unfortunately, we've got the best dog and pony show in the state. I don't want a dog and pony show. I want a city council that takes care of its citizens and puts its personal views aside and does what's best for my city, the city I choose to live in, the city that I love, that I have children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren in, and I want them to be proud of what we are, not of what we've been seeing lately.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? If not,
I have something for what you have before you is a copy of the 2008 resolution and the history of it, how every phrase has been found unconstitutional, and how you heard from Mr. Neely earlier the long history of Mr. Ward's attempts. From here on out, well, actually, first I want to request that, again, that you separate your votes on the committee reorganization from the mayor and vice mayor, so that you're on the record for that individually. From here on out, I actually have two statements from two Portervillians who can't be here tonight. One, they're both brief, and one is in Afghanistan right now, so that's why she can't be here. I'd like to read them, but I may go slightly over, and I request you don't cut me off in the middle of the service member's statement.
you can do it as quickly as possible.
3 minutes, Barry.
Mhm.
Moving 3 minutes, that's great.
Just go ahead.
Chop chop.
Go ahead.
Okay. The first is a state, I also have copies of these for you. The first is a statement from Tino Hernandez, who is a Porterville native currently living in Texas, in support of Mayor Gorola tonight. He wrote, let me tell you something about me. I was raised in Porterville and came from respected parents who were well known in the community. From the ages of 15 to 18, I was bullied and talked about while walking to town. People would honk say gay slurs, and throw things at me. If I was in a store buying something, they would laugh and say things about me, even if my mom was right there. And sometimes these were grown adults doing this. I remember at one time I was asked to leave a store because I was making people uncomfortable because people were talking about me being gay. I was about 16 years old, standing in line at Thrifty's to get an ice cream. How do you think my parents felt hearing this about their son? I'm now 48 years old, and I remember. So thank you to the LGBT community of Porterville for all they do. All the things that were said and done to me, at times I did think about suicide to spare my parents the hurt because I was different. But because gay people believe in God, which may be hard for you to believe, it was a sin to take your own life, so I did not. But I am sorry that God created us all in the world. I was the openly gay kid in the 80s named Tino who was a sissy or gay. But guess what? I am the bigger person because through all that bullying, it made me the stronger person I am today. So Mr. Kaplan is right as far as I am concerned. Thank you, Barry Kaplan and Porterville's LGBT community for the work you do for everyone. And also, when I spoke with Mr. Martinez Hernandez on the phone today, he told me he is familiar with Ms. Garola, so perhaps she can tell you a little bit about him as well. The second is briefer. It's a statement from Christine Venter, Army service member.
So your time's up now. Sorry.
You're cutting me off in the middle of a
Because I
service
have to
member.
cut you off because
All right, I
I
have-
have 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
I'll read it.
My name is Lana Nguyen, also living in Porterville. I'm going to finish up, actually start the statement from Christine Vautre, Army service member currently in Afghanistan, in support of Mayor Garola, September 17, 2013. I want to start by thanking Mayor Garola for the loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage she has shown since she has been in the office. These are the Army values. They are the qualities that the Army teaches and believes make great leaders. I am a Porterville resident, currently serving in Afghanistan. LGBT rights have recently been recognized federally and in the military. I no longer have to hide that I'm a lesbian soldier. If we can move forward as a country, why would the council hold us back as a city? The actions Mayor Garola has taken have made me proud to serve a country and come from a city that supports equality for everyone. If not, then what am I risking my life and fighting for? I'm proud to fight for you, Mayor Garola. Thank you for fighting for us. I pray I can shake your hand as mayor when I come home.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The 30 minutes is up, and we will bring it back to the council for discussion. So bring it back. I guess we'll start. This item was brought forward.
I'm seeking unanimous consent to have Mr. De La Rosa speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Buenas noches. My name is Roberto de la Rosa, and I have been a resident in Porterville since 1964. I'm very proud to say that Porterville is my home. I'm also very proud to say that most of my children have come back to Porterville, where a lot of children go with college, and they decide to stay with Porterville. And there's a reason for that. So part of the reason is that we have instilled in our children the idea and the idealism that we can all make things better for our community. And I also just wanted to really thank each one of you. But I have to say this. Some of you deserve to be thanked more than others, okay? Some of you deserve to really learn a little bit more about city government, about democracy, about representation of people. The reason why I started saying buenas noches, while you're trying to go through this reorganization process, not for the first time. As it was mentioned, it seemed like coincidence that it just happens to be a female. Coincidence is a Latina. Coincidence is the same person. Okay? So it's hard to believe in coincidence. I believe more in recognizing political games. I believe in recognizing when there's punitive politics and it hurts. I'll tell you why I said buenas noches. We came to the city council on other occasions and we said, wouldn't it be nice if you were to provide simultaneous translation for the rest of the folks that are out there? The one that supposedly you also represent. Wouldn't it be nice for you to hear from them what they think about some of what we call movidas? Okay? Right down to earth, political moves. Now, I personally would depend and hope that your collective wisdom tells you not to take an action that the whole world will see through and realize that it is punitive. It is really punitive. You're not setting a good example for anyone by going through reorganization. And call me a liar if you don't have a second motivation for doing that. Okay?
Liar.
Your pen's on fire, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, 30 minutes is up, so we're not taking any more communications at this time. I'm bringing it back to council for discussion. This item was brought forward by Councilmember Ward, so I'll forward to you.
Can everyone hear me? So, I guess adding to bigotry or bigot and homophobic, I'm now sexist and racist. Since 2008, the council has had reorganization every single year. I have never supported anybody in the center seat after their first year. Okay? You can go back and check the public records. I have been an ardent supporter of rotation since I got on the council in 2008. It didn't matter what sex they were. It didn't matter what race they were. It didn't matter what orientation they were. Okay? I believe in rotation. The Board of Supervisors rotate their seat every year. Okay? And there doesn't seem to be a problem. There's no outcry. There's not any, shame on you. Everyone gets an opportunity to represent their district or the people that put them in. When I was spending 2 years in Scotland, I had two different leadership styles. One was you earned your stripe, and once you're in a leadership position, you're there for life. The other leader believed that you rotate the leadership around, and by rotating the leadership around, you made the organization stronger. Because everyone had an opportunity to speak on behalf of the organization and to learn things that others would never be able to learn without having that opportunity to serve. Just to let you know a little bit about me, and I don't like to do this, but apparently I'm the boogeyman. I work with strong Latina women every day. My kids are taught and educated by strong Latina women every day. They're in the dual immersion program. They're learning Spanish and English. They're becoming biliterate. They're becoming bilingual. My children have had a homosexual teacher. That didn't mean anything to me. They were a good teacher. I didn't care what race, what sexual orientation, anything. If you're a great teacher, I want my children to be educated by you. And so it bothers me that all of these remarks are made towards me when they're complete false. So those who are intellectually honest can go back and look at the record. I've been on record. I've been an ardent supporter of rotation from day one. It doesn't matter who's in the center seat. And that's all I got to say about that.
I got a little bit.
Anyone else?
Yeah, a little bit. When I came on council, Mr. Irish was on here, and I felt like he had been deprived of the ability to serve as mayor for a number of years, for whatever reason. But so in an attempt to make amends, I agreed to appoint a mayor with the understanding that in a year, he would step aside and allow for some rotation. I didn't care who it was. Well, it didn't work out that way. So during that 1 year, I can't remember if I called for a reorganization of council more than probably me. And I nominated somebody else and it didn't work. The next time it came up, which was a year ago, I asked for someone that hadn't been mayor to be mayor. For the people that say we're a bunch of racists or whatever else, which really kind of bothers me, Virginia's been mayor 3 times. I think she holds the record. So for a town that supposedly has issues, it seems like he seems to be pretty accommodating. But I asked for rotation to someone that hadn't been mayor, and didn't happen again. So this is the 3rd year now, for my last one, or fourth now. And I believe in rotation like I did the first 3 times. I think that everybody should have an opportunity to learn whether or not they can handle the position or whatever else. And I think to deprive somebody of it is I heard somebody talk about not knowing what democracy was. That's exactly what democracy is. And then I guess the last thing that bothered me is that now I am a good old boy.
Anyone else? Councilmember Hamilton.
I don't have much to add to that, except that if I was to make up my mind based on what I heard tonight, thank you very much. I've made up my mind from what I heard tonight.
Anyone else? I do want to read something. I wasn't going to, but I decided to. First of all, I want to say that the council up here has worked together. We have truly tried to do that, and you're always going to have opposition. That's just going to happen on the council. I've served long enough, as well as Councilman Hamilton, that we know that we're going to have opposition, and we're not going to support each other all the time. I went to a meeting in Visalia. It was for Common Ground, and they had a mock debate on how you get to common ground. And I learned some things from that that I believe the council can use when, not just this council, all council, because it happens on all councils. The discussion to come to a common ground really is helpful when we're having these heated discussions at times. Good thing it doesn't happen often, which is good. But I can say that Councilmember Ward is not a monster. He is a very good person. He has a family, and he takes very good care of them. He contributes in this community and is a valued member of this community. Councilman Hamilton, known him for years. Do we get into it sometimes? Yes. My husband and him got into it one time. But that's okay. You know what? We still look at each other, and we can still smile at each other. And Vice Mayor McCracken has been very supportive as Vice Mayor. He has been right there helping me do this, because to do the council, to be up here, to run the meeting, anyone who's run a meeting, you know that it takes cooperation. And what can I say about Councilman Shelton? He gets on my nerves at times, but you know what? So be it. My kids do that at times. But what I want to say before a vote's taken is, whichever way it goes, people have asked me, how do you feel? And I go, you know what? I haven't given it that much thought. Is it a setback? And this is what I want to make sure that especially our youth understand. Is it a setback? No. Have I, as the mayor, lost anything? No. Because this position doesn't define who I am. I define who I am. I define who I will be and the decisions that I will make for the city. I can be effective, and any of us can be effective in any of the positions we hold. I can be effective as a leader in this community. as a decision maker in this community, whether I'm the mayor or not, or whether I seat in any of these seats. I am confident in the decisions that I've made as the mayor. I won't take them back. I've been very comfortable with the decisions I've made. And I also know that I'm effective in this position and effective as a council member, effective as a member of this community, and more so, that I place myself in God's hands, and He lets me know what is happening. And no one else will do that in His place. But I also know that there is much work to be done on this council. We have in front of us a future that is going to be very good for the city of Porterville. We can't discuss some of it, as the city manager knows and everybody else on council, but there are good things that are happening to the city of Porterville. Should we get caught up on this reorganization? No. We need to move forward. Who's ever sitting in the center seat has a job to do, and most of it is having to deal with the council and moving it forward and making sure that we can get things done. I hope we get them done by 8:30, but it's not going to happen. So, but we have a responsibility to the residents, you. We have a responsibility to make the decisions that are best for the city of Porterville so that we can move forward in this century and do some good things. And I truly believe that we can do that. And that who's ever sitting in the center seat does have a job to do, not just here, but also in the community as well. I want to thank the vice mayor especially because he also does a job in this community. We all do. So if there's nothing else, then I'm not sure how we proceed.
That's the council that wants to proceed on this.
So how does the council want to proceed on this?
Let's make a motion.
You can make a motion. So what I see in front of us is two items, the reorganization and then also the mayor and vice mayor and also the assignments of the various committees which are included in our packet.
So when I look at the rotation, which I'm in strong favor of, right now I have health concerns that I'm dealing with and other things, so I would take my name out of consideration until my health issues are resolved or whatnot. I'm going to focus on those things right now. So, Virginia, you've been mayor. Obviously, right now, Pete, you were the mayor before Ron. So Greg hasn't been mayor. So,
Well, I'm going to say, I don't want it. Whoever sits in that seat, it does something to them. And I'm telling you, man, I like myself just how I am.
well, if that's the case, then the person who would be next in rotation in my mind would be Cam. So I would make a motion to nominate Cam Hamilton.
Your Honor,
Vice Mayor?
the mayor's seat is not vacant. I don't know how you can nominate somebody for a seat that's already filled. I think the first motion would be a motion to remove Virginia Garola from the mayor's seat. I'm not making that motion.
Please, you know how I am. It doesn't change me.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that we dissolve the current structure of the council at this time and reorganize.
Oh, wait, and reorganize how?
You
Want to do separate motions?
You have to.
You don't have to. You can make it. You can
Be one motion.
Huh?
You could be one motion.
Yeah, you can
It's up to the council.
dissolve it and then nominate
Okay, so
Cam.
I make a motion that we dissolve the current council makeup and reorganize with Cam Hamilton as mayor.
Please vote.
You're a second to that.
Oh, did I have a second?
You don't have to have a second apparently with this, do you?
This one you do.
Oh,
You do
yeah.
that as a motion.
Did I have a
Motion
second?
to reorganize, not a nomination.
Huh?
It's a motion to
I have a
reorganize.
motion, did I have a second?
All right.
So, Councilmember Hamilton voted to second that. Please vote. Motion carries with 3. And so,
Vice Mayor.
Well, I am not the mayor now, so I will not carry on with the meeting any longer. So how do we proceed with that?
Cam,
Councilman,
you and Cam.
Mayor Hamilton will take the seat.
That's his third term.
There is not going to be any. Yeah, just on the other side. Oh, sorry, you didn't hear that.
That wasn't bad.
Did you need your?
Well, first of all, Virginia, I want to thank you for the time you put in this chair, and you and I both know I appreciate you at all times. As you said, don't agree all the time, that's okay, we'll not agree all the time.
Can't hear you.
I don't know why, oh, is this one not on, because you use the
No, it's on.
phone? Turn it up. I'm right into it on this, Terry. Anyway, the next order of business would be nominations for vice mayor.
Well, I don't want to be vice mayor for the same reason I don't want to be mayor. So I'll make a motion that we put Brian Ward as vice mayor.
Nomination for Brian. Second.
What do you think?
Doing it as a nomination, you don't, you should ask for other nominations.
Any other nominations for vice mayor? We'll close nominations, and all in favor of voting in Brian for vice mayor? Please vote. Somebody's on that.
Brian is in
Motion carries 3-2. Business at hand on committee. Ms. Ladauer is going to travel tomorrow. Do you want to take up committee memberships tonight?
Can't hear you. Are you serious?
Yes.
Let's get it over with. Let's get it over with.
You want to get over on the committee?
Yes. I'm good with my committees unless someone wants one of my committees, they're welcome to it. So I don't know if there's any that really should be changed. Anybody?
Move them on.
Generally, the mayor serves on TCAG. That's been, anyway, the way it's been here.
Is that a motion?
No, I'm not motioning, I'm just bringing that up for your knowledge.
You prefer to continue to be on TK?
Do you know, is there a requirement on that, with it being a mayor? Or
There
is it
isn't. I was just going to say, we've had a practice of both. I believe Vice Mayor Martinez served for a duration of time, and was not the mayor.
That was my only question, as long as it's not required.
That there has been some historical correlation.
Right.
I'm going to continue on TCAG.
I guess we're not changing any of that.
I also served on EDC. I do not wish to serve on the EDC. I also serve on the Business Incentive Zone Council. I wish to also give that one up. And Councils of Cities, I serve on that as a member. I wish to put that up as well.
So shall we take EDC first? Meets once a quarter, is that correct?
EDC meets
Once a month?
Fourth Wednesday of every
Fourth what?
fourth Wednesday of every month at 6:30.
Anyone wishing to sit on that one? D?
It's like business incentive and DC are pretty much the same.
Yeah, the
They're
business
the same, it's the same one.
Yeah, it is.
7:30 a.m. at the Heritage Club.
Nope.
Can't talk you to staying on there, can we, Virginia?
No.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That was easy.
What was that one, Virginia, didn't
The other one is, well, the Business Incentive Zone Council is part of the EDC, so that will go. And,
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
went ahead and took that.
and the other one is the Joint City School Committee.
That was Bryan, Virginia. Anyone interested in that one? That means it usually 5 or 6. Right?
When is that? Just whenever as
It's
needed?
quarterly as needed.
Well, I'll take it up. I was on there before with Brian. I don't mind doing it with Brian.
The other is the Council of Cities.
Well, I'd be glad to take that one back since I started that one. I'd like to get involved again, if that's okay with the rest of the council.
I also wish to inform the council that on the TCAG, I also serve on the, just have been appointed to the Rails Committee. Mr. Lawless also serve on the,
Mitigation banking.
Mitigation Banking Committee. Is there a third one in there? That's it.
You want to be on?
I forget all of them. Well, I just want you to be aware that, or know that serving on TCAG, I will also serve on those 2 other committees.
If I trust you with TCAG, I trust you with the other 2.
I didn't say trust, I said I'm serving on the committees.
Well, you gotta tell me I have trust. Make it what's worth.
Hey, does that take care of all the committees, Mr. Lawrence?
No, it's,
What do you got?
there's 2 more. One is, the other, the Council of Cities is a little different than any other committee we sit on. We have 2 members, not a member and an alternate. And I'm currently a member, currently the chair. I'm perfectly happy to continue.
That one's solved.
Yep.
Also, we have the CWMA. I would appreciate council considering, Councilman Ward has a great deal of trouble making the noon meetings, and the CWMA meets at noon on the 3rd Thursday of every month. And I would appreciate it if we could come up with an alternate that could make some meetings occasionally during the school year.
Are you saying sometimes you can't make it, Pete?
Well, if he's said.
I would like the flexibility of not being able to make it. At the current time, I have to give up some opportunities to free up that
I'm just trying to
Thursday.
clarify. Aren't you the chair of that, though?
At the current time, I am, and the alternate would not be the chair. The vice chair is out of Exeter right now. But I think we do need an elected representative there when I can't make it. Lindsay has decided that their alternate is their city manager, and I'm
It's not
having
going
to
to be,
review.
it's going to be elected.
Huh?
I think they're going to have to change it.
Yeah, because when they review the JPA, it has to be elected, so I know that Councilman Ward just can't make it during the school year.
Why don't we just be, you're going to know in advance when you can't make it, aren't you?
I know in advance, but you have to file your alternate with the JPA. You can't just make it alternate flexible.
No.
I'm not interested. I guess just leave it open. We just won't have an attendance there. Yeah, I'm pictured about having that thing too.
Okay?
Do we need a motion for the?
Yeah, I'd recommend a motion to approve the changes as were noted by both
Does anybody know what they were?
Councilmember Grohl and Councilmember McCracken.
I can,
Yeah, or.
I can report it back.
Maybe you get, yeah, give a report. I'll motion, you'll just tell me what they are.
I have Mayor Hamilton now is a representative to the Clark County EDC, which also incorporates the Business Incentives Zone Council. Have Councilman Shelton, now a member of the Joint City School Committee. Have Mayor Hamilton as member to Council of Cities. Those are the 3 changes. That's all.
And then everything else stays as it is. That's okay. That's what he said. That's my motion.
Any second?
Second.
Please vote. Motion carries 5-0.
Right?
No. Unless you guys do.
Got that?
We have accessory vacancy, and then we have the meter.
keep my head up straight.
All right, you can take a 5-9 break.
Well, I don't know.